Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the Renewed Minds Podcast KE. As usual, I am your host Amy Owari, and on this platform, we share stories by orphans for other orphans with the goal to inspire, enlighten, and to create a community that will help other orphans feel seen and to feel supported. So we have other episodes also uploaded, our introductory episode and the first episode. So be sure to watch that as well, even as you catch up with this one. Do not forget to subscribe and share once you are done watching this one. So today I have a guest with me, a friend of mine. I call him my brother from another mother. We've known each other for years now, and we are friends. We met in church actually.
Yeah.
Yes, we used to serve in church together, and that's where our bond grew. And yeah, now we are brother and sister. So he's also an orphan, and I've invited him here today to share his story.
Mhm.
And we'll share other things that he inspired me. Actually, his story inspired me in many ways, so I will share as we go. But for a start, hi, August.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine.
I will just call you.
It sounds weird though,
It's
right?
not weird. That's how I know you. I hope you don't mind
No, it's
others
alright.
knowing that I call
It's
you
alright.
August.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Welcome to my podcast.
Thank you.
How are you
Thank you.
feeling?
I'm okay. I woke up so early today
Yes.
to
To
get
be
to
here.
Mom. So Saturday is always a chill day for me, but
Yes.
I'm glad to be here.
Yes. Thank you so much for honoring my invite.
Asante.
It
Karibu.
didn't take much to convince him actually to come. It was just a straight yes. So thank you for that.
Karibu.
May God bless you for me.
You as well.
Yes. So first, I want you to share with us what you do. Actually, he was sharing with me just before we started recording what he does for work. So I want you to tell us a bit about what you're doing
Okay.
before we start.
Okay. Hi viewers, my name is Steve. As you've heard, Ouma. She calls me Ous.
Ous.
Yeah, so just in case you're wondering where Ous is coming from, it's from Ouma. I'm a child protection specialist at HIAS. HIAS is a small refugee organization that serves urban refugees. So that's where I work. I'm just around 4 months in my current place of work. Previously, I worked with Nova, Pioneer Eldoret Boys.
Still working with kids.
Yes, still working with kids, high school students. Yeah, but
So-
now I've shifted to working with refugee children and asylum seekers. Yeah.
That's interesting, guys. So how can we support your work?
By giving the refugees a freedom. I know it's challenging for them being in a country and having escaped their country because of various harsh conditions and various reasons. There's what we call local integration for refugees. And this is where us as Kenyans, we are the host communities. And the host communities, we create an environment that they can feel at home and they can feel welcomed, that they can be able to use their abilities and strengths and develop to full potential. Okay, so if we can be able to create that environment and not be very hostile to them, then we will be contributing a lot.
Oh, that's nice. As I said, it's interesting work. I'm excited to see you grow into it so that I can hear more about what you guys do.
Yeah.
And if in one way or another we can partner together in future,
yes,
you let me know.
Yeah.
So there's a segment that we have that I really enjoy doing. We start with icebreakers so that we make it a bit light before we get into the depth of your story.
Okay.
So the first question, do you consider yourself a morning person or a night person?
Well, I think I'm a night person.
You're a night person?
Yes, I can stay until late. Mornings are a struggle. Yeah.
So what does your night routine look like?
A shower in just at around 7:20, 7:30, because that's the time I get home. Then, of course, try to catch up with what is happening on social media because at work you don't really get enough time to check into your phone. Then from there, of course, supper. I get to watch the news at 9. Then by around 9:30,
you go to bed.
Yeah.
Now that you're a father.
Of course, in between, my daughter is
Changing diapers.
crazy. That is one, but you enjoy it. When she didn't want to sleep, or probably she slept during the day.
Yeah.
And now you have to try and keep up with all her. She's
Energy
just trying to. Yeah, she's trying to talk now. Where she knows her little things and like calling her grandmother Bibi. So she'll be able to just say she wants to pick the phone and say Bibi Bibi, and you're wondering what is going on. Yeah,
it's nice and cute, guys. What's a quote or verse that you live by? You can either give us a quote or a verse.
Quote or a verse
that you live by.
I think the verse, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. Yeah, right. You are able to achieve anything. Tasks are never that big. Whatever assignment, you can be picked, from being a child protection specialist to being a dorm parent to being a car parking attendant. Those are all things I've done. So you can always do anything if you put your mind on it.
Oh, nice. That's very nice. The next one, let me ask, if you were to choose one meal you could eat forever, what would it be?
Oh man, rice.
Rice.
Rice any day.
Plain ama with beans or
minced meat?
Oh, interesting.
Yes, minced meat. Yeah.
Interesting. One last one. So I know you love music. I think we bonded through music. So which song can you sing word by word till the end? This one probably you can have many because we were in praise and worship and we had to cram songs. Okay, which one is your favorite that you can sing word by word from?
Made Away by Travis Green. Yes.
Oh. Okay. So I'll stop there for now.
Okay.
Maybe I'll ask others later at the end.
Yeah.
Because I'm curious more about parenting. But
I'm learning parenting.
I know. You will share the bit. You're almost 2 years into it, so 1 year experience.
I know, but 1 year in exile.
Sawa, you'll share that too. So we'll go into your story.
Sure.
So I try not to limit people on how to share your story because it's yours.
Yeah.
So I'm just here to give you the moral support. So you just share with us, because now the basis of the podcast is for you to share bits of your story that can inspire somebody else, just to see your journey from where you came from. So feel free.
Wow. Thank you for even creating this platform to raise the voices of orphans and just a way of encouraging one another through the stories that we shared in this podcast. Viewers, my name is Steve. A total orphan. People tend to question, what do you mean by you're half an orphan and a total orphan? So, total orphan is one who has lost both parents, that is dad and mom. Yeah, and my journey as a total orphan began in 2005. 2005. But partial orphan began in the year 1999. So I was very young by then. I'm born 89. So by then I was around 10 years, and that's where the story begins. I lost my mom when I was around 10 years, and I barely knew what was going on because when she started getting sickly, it was just me and my dad and her. But previously we had stayed with her siblings, my aunties and my uncles. So it was always a full house until when she started getting unwell. And my aunties and uncles had to move. Yeah, did I say where we stayed? We stayed in Kisumu, born and raised in Kisumu for some time. A place called Kondele. Yes. So Kondele just is on your way to Obunga. So we were just around there. And my mom was raised in Kisumu. Even my grandmother from my mom's side, they stayed in Kisumu for the longest time. So that's where life began. So mom having passed on in 1999, it posed a very big challenge. One, because as kids, when you are supposed to be shielded from all the dramas of both families, you will be caught up in the middle of all this, but you're very young.
Why? Because you lived with your aunties and uncles?
No, because of this thing called dowry. Gentlemen, if you're out there, please pay your dowries.
At this point, you're the only child?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm the only child. I'm the only child, but my dad had the first wife who passed on as well. So I had siblings. From the other side. But just to say, I stayed with my mom for the longest time before my dad was introduced to me. So my dad was introduced to my life later on, just when mom was just about to, started getting sickly. And so we had not bonded that much. But during that period, we were able to start creating a bond. But you trying to warm up to this stranger who has never been in your life. But now,
at what age are you when your dad now comes in?
I think it was around 9 years. So that's when he's introduced and he walks in. So and then 2 years later,
your
mom is gone. So the struggles begin because now my mom's family not in good terms with my dad's family. It's a lot of struggle. So in between there, you cannot comprehend anything that is happening. So you're still a child. But even with children, I as a person who works now with children, and having learned that children
they see and
notice things, and probably the challenges that they undergo will always come to reflect in their lives later. So basically, that is what I've experienced. That everything that happened had an impact in my adult life. So there we are. The burial is happening. But now, how did I get to know that my mom had passed on? I hear my grandma, and she passed on in Russia. I think now it's called, I don't know, Jaramogi or something. In Russia. So my grandma came early and I could hear her sing. Then, wailing all over the place.
So your grandma from your dad's side?
My grandma's sister. Okay. Because she was now the person who was taking care of my mom in the hospital. So the day that my mom passed on, my dad had gone up country. So I just hear grandma coming, singing and sad songs, and she's wailing. So it gets confusing. Then my aunt who brought me up now, Auntie Pamela.
She did this in the town setup?
Yes.
That's interesting. Watu si walikuja wakaziona?
We how do you call them? Single houses?
Nyumba kumi. The plots.
Landy. Now where you know that law
Translate what Landi means.
Landi means this is where you have like
It's plots.
plot,
Nyumba
like
kumi in
yeah,
Kiswahili,
nyumba
guys, if
kumi.
you don't know. Yes.
So it's like they were 10 houses of, can I even give the measurements, but not so big, eh?
Single room?
Single rooms.
Yeah.
So all of you, everything is done.
Yeah.
There's like a curtain that separates the bedroom and the, the structures. So everyone is awake. It's wee hours in the morning. Now everyone is awake and there's a lot of wailing. The neighbors who now used to know my mom. Everyone is just crazy. So in that moment, no one is looking after me. So that's why I started getting, isolating myself.
Oh.
So I just kept aside. Then, a week later, the burial arrangements are being done. The night vigils are there, and we taken. She gets buried in a place called Kojwach Ringa.
Now
that's now where my dad, yes, is coming from.
Okay.
So
at this point, okay, the way law culture works, the dowry has already been settled.
The dowry has not been paid.
But they agreed to bury her.
The negotiations have gone on despite the challenges, and there's that agreement that now, let's go just bury my mom to my dad's place. So I
usually feel like when such things happen, it's easier when not to sound like ignorant, but I'm saying it's usually easier on men. Like when a man is alive and the woman has died, these things are rushed. But when like a woman is the one who has lost the husband, it usually is very chaotic. But that's not what we are discussing today. Let's continue.
So we are able to gather, and my mom is buried, and everyone leaves. And as a law custom, you guys have to remain behind for another week of,
so now it's
mourning.
you
Now so I've been left there now with my dad.
Can you say that at this point you and your dad are now close?
Kind of. Because now he's like, apart from my mom's sisters and brothers, people from my dad's family, it's now him alone, the person that I know now on the other side, and a few of my stepsisters who had been introduced during the time that my mom was also getting sickly. So the burial is done. We are there the 1 week. Now the processes begin. What do we do? Do we go back to Kisumu and who's gonna stay with me? Because my dad would also how they called he not an architect but was like an engineer. The guys who, I don't want to call them foremen, but they are the person who ensures clerk of works. Yes, let me put it that way. Clerk of works is the guy who ensures that the building structure is going in the right way. The measurements, the whatever is laid down in the right process. So he would travel a lot. So the challenge was who was going to stay with me
when he travels a lot.
Travels out. So my elder stepsister now comes
from the first wife.
Yeah, from the first one. Now comes in and stays with us. So we developed a relationship, but it was not a bittersweet one because we would fight most of the time, we'd disagree a lot.
Because you were used to being the only child for a long time.
For the longest time. Then, the comparisons now start coming in. Oh, my mom was this, your mother was this, my mom was better than your mom. this conversation would come in, and I would like,
how old are you at this point?
I'm still around 11, 12.
And she's?
She is around, was it 16, 17? And she's not going to school. So at that time, she wasn't going to
high
school.
school?
No.
Reason?
Funds, challenges.
Your dad couldn't afford to take her to school?
He couldn't afford.
And
so
you, are you in school?
Yes, I'm in school, but in and out with school fees challenges at that particular time. But thank God for aunties. Aunties who are intentional enough to ensure that you get education. So my aunt Pamela would chip in for me to be able to go to school. So I'm in primary school at Migosi, and she does her thing. A year later, not even a year, I think around six months, my dad says he's not able to take care of me in time. So what do? Because of his traveling most of the time, now I'm being told to move up country. Up country, to your dad's side. To my dad's side. So there's one uncle of mine. It's called Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam was like, like in every family, in every homestead, there's that person who everyone considers has the money in that family. He's the one who makes the decisions, and his voice is always very vocal. Money is everything. Money gives you power, and people listen to it. And people listen. He's the youngest. He was younger than my dad, but because he's the one who has money, and everyone, if he says anything, everyone has to obey, including my grandmother. It's like, someone has said that, we are going that direction. Okay? So that happens. Allow me? Yeah, kindly. Let me state mine as well before I forget. So we are back. I'm taken to a very local school called Hotel Primary. So I start schooling. My uncle introduces me to, he's the one who takes me to school. So taken to school, I go back to class 6 in Shags. So there started schooling, but again with challenges. The school is like around 4 or 5 kilometers away. You walk? Yes, we walk. Migosi was like 100 meters away from home. Now have to. Everyone is walking. A pair of one shoe you're having, but I skipped something. Let me say this. So when the burial was done and we moved back to Kisumu, we went home. So when I went home, I found, when we went back to our house, we found that a few of our stuff, like household stuff, had already been taken. Okay. Now, on inquiry, I've been told people from my mom's side. So there's a struggle already there. So, meaning everything, including my clothes, had already gone. A few of the things had been taken to Shanks. So I'm at Shanks. I don't have like a number of clothes of mine. 2, I was taken to Shanks without the knowledge of my aunties. From your mom's side? From my mom's side. So they don't know. Later on is when they hear that I was in Shanks. So Shanks, biasness, discrimination creeps in, because now I'm left under the care of my uncle and my grandmother. And my grandmother we had one of my cousins who is now born to my auntie from my father's side. So I always felt that, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I always felt that he had an upper hand and more privileges than myself. So because in the morning when you're going to school, you would have something to take. Yes. Us, nothing. would have some coins to buy a kun.
Please explain to people what a kun.
A kun is it's mandazi made out of ugali. Mandazi made out of ugali. And that thing was
Do people still make those?
I don't know. Maybe if I go to
Back
Bala,
to
we'll find
Oyugis.
out.
We will ask Oyugis people.
Yes. So there we are. Favorism comes in. I'm not used to hard work, but now you've been told the story of going to the shamba, house chores, taking care of cows, plowing cows, you have to learn. Then the hardest was always you're given shamba is like 2 acres, and there are different ones, like 10.
You're doing it alone?
No,
Okay.
we were 3. So one of my stepsisters, that cousin of mine from my auntie's side, then and
But
myself.
you are not the kids of this house.
Yes. So we my grandma gives us the acres of land. You have to go and see because you want to eat.
Yes.
Yeah. So you have to till the land. You have to weed and the maize. You have to take care of the cows. So you'd wake up in the morning, do some chores in the morning, run to school after doing chores in the morning, come back at lunchtime, fetch water for the cows and all that, cook your own meal, run back to school at 4, come back, do the other chores, ensure that your homework is done. The second part was with all the chores, you will not have enough time to do your homework. Because by exactly at 8, the koroboy
goes off.
My grandma is like, no one is buying me paraffin. Okay? So you guys, you have to,
balance it. And
no one is buying me paraffin. You have to find a way of doing that. In the morning is a struggle. So life went on. I remember at one time, it was so hard that one of my sisters, the stepsister, and the last one in their family, escaped
from home.
Like he was going to their to her grandmother from her mom's side. So unfortunately, the devil is a lie.
What did the devil do?
The devil does this. He meets on her way to eloping. He meets. She meets my uncle, my younger uncle from my dad's side. And what happens is she's brought back home, beaten thoroughly.
Oh God.
Beaten thoroughly. Then it was said,
you influenced her?
I influenced her and I knew the story of her escaping. It happened that my dad was home. My dad was so disappointed, man. I'd never seen my dad so disappointed.
So at this point, he's still traveling.
He's still traveling. He's never home often. So I'm caned thoroughly.
By your dad?
Yes. That was the first time the old man
ever caned.
And that was the last time. It was the first. He only caned me once. So she's brought back. It's caned. I'm also caught up in the mix and caned. And I was so bitter when that happened. Then I think the next day again, of course, going to the shamba, you're so tired, you're so demoralized with everything that is happening. Then I went in the morning now. One of the bulls moved off, and the plow itself made a line outside where we were supposed to be plowing. And my stepbrother, was way older than me, I just had jaridi. It's like the whip for the cows. To land on my back, seriously.
Your stepbrother?
Yes. Hey. And and I ran back home. I met that uncle of mine.
Yeah.
Again. He caned me.
Because you ran from the farm?
Yes. How do you leave work? It was kind of like slavery thing, something. So at that point,
so as a child, how are you processing all these emotions? These are your relatives.
Yes, the
So
people
how
were
are you
supposed to take care of you.
Yes.
How are you coping? You numb.
Okay.
You numb your emotions.
Because now you can't tell anyone.
Who do you cry to? Who do you tell?
Yeah.
Who do you tell? Remember, there are no mobile phones at that time. Not like now you can say, I can call my auntie.
Yeah.
And this and that.
Yes.
No, there's no one to call at that particular time. So I'm caned again, and I make a decision that I'm not going to talk to anyone. From my grandma's side. So what would happen, I would always go stay in my house, in my mother's house. Check, eat my pears, those are guavas.
You went on a strike?
Hunger strike, man. Hunger strike.
So you are not eating food?
I'm not eating. I'm not talking to anyone. But you're still working? No. Even working now, I've said no one, I'm not doing anyone's chores, and I'm not talking to anyone. So I lived like that for like a month. Then I realized this thing is not what I'm the one I'm punishing myself.
Wait, so what are they doing for this 1 month? Are they trying to find out why you're quiet? Or
people try talking to you. My dad is trying to get to know what is happening. I'm like, no, me, I'm fine. And I just don't want to talk to anyone and all that. So I realized I was not going to do this for so long. Then again, 1 month is long. Maperas and eating at friends' places when you're from school. Those ones who are able to buy you mandazis and stuff. And you come and you sleep. The good thing, we had a house, so I was not going to sleep at my grand's place. So I would sleep on the couch and wake up in the morning, dust myself, and go to school.
Let's put a pin on this and remember to stay tuned for part 2.
Are you a parent with a child in secondary school looking for a mathematics tutor during these December holidays? Tailored Learning has got you covered. Call 07 13 49 74 79 for lessons tailored to the specific need of the student at the comfort of your home. Tailored Learning, the touch of genius.